Fantastic. Hi all, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome again to Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul, a learning series by waystrategy.com, and wish you all a very happy good afternoon. And I'm sure every one of you are equally excited to see how cryptocurrency and Nifty correlation exists in the market and how both of those are not moving in tandem. तो आज का जो डिस्कशन है वेबिनार का जो डिस्कशन हम करने वाले हैं द टॉपिक इज how what is the correlation between cryptocurrency and Nifty and what to expect from Nifty from here on. So just give me a second and we will be talking about it very soon. But a very interesting week where we saw a very sharp fall, a very sharp rise, market going all over the place. Looking at the fall, a collapse in the crypto market when Bitcoin crashed by nearly around 35% in single day. Dogecoin crashed by 45%, and many of you have been expecting Dogecoin to be the currency that will not be going to crash because given that it's being promoted by Elon Musk. Lekin look at that, it does not matter. So it's a very interesting phenomenon that I thought, okay, I'll cover this up in today's webinar. But before I move on forward, a few of the things that I want to talk about also is that if you have been subscribed to me on the YouTube, you can clearly understand that I have been publishing a couple of videos. So about 2 days back, I published about, why you should be focusing on which cash stocks you should focus on, how they moved. And about a day back, I published again about something on different study altogether. So so these are, so I would highly recommend that you should ensure you are subscribed to the channel so that you keep getting alerts of these kind of news that I keep doing it, this kind of webinars that I keep doing it. And I'm sure it's helping you to become a much better trader. So that is what I want to talk about. And also our mentorship is starting in July 2021. And if you want to register for the mentorship program, ensure you are a part of this program. And Master of Cycles is going to be happening on 12th, 13th of June. I remember I've been talking about May again and again. I don't know why. So 12th, 13th June is when Master of Cycles is happening. It's a 2 days completely on time cycles we are going to focus on. So that's how we are going to do that. And before we move on, let's take a very quick polling. I want to understand from you if you are an option trader. So that's the poll that I'm launching right now. Are you an option trader? Because currently in the market, if you are, I've been very vocal about since 2 months time or 3 months time कि इस market में अगर आपको पैसा कमाना है तो you have to be an option writer. Option buying also can make money, but you need to be timing it extremely well. If you are not able to time your trade well, then making money is not possible in options, at least in the buying side. So how do you time the market? And इसीलिए Master of Cycles program we are coming up, which I did about a year back, and next program might happen after again a year. So because बहुत ही amazing concept है, and जो accuracy से we are able to predict the time to the very minute. In fact, आज भी morning में around 9:30 we gave buy call on Nifty. And to our clients intraday positional both, and it worked fabulous. Exactly when time cycle was bottoming, we gave a buy, got initiated immediately in just few minutes and rocketed on the upside post that. That was again on the basis of cyclical analysis that we were doing, and it was simply fabulous. So I'm just going to end this poll very quickly. I also want to understand what do you think is the Nifty trend in the coming week. So people who are there on YouTube, they can also participate. What do you think Nifty is going to do from on? Okay, I can see, as I expected, I can clearly see a lot of, I don't want to name it because otherwise you will get biased. People on YouTube, if you want to join me on the channel here on Zoom where we are taking these polls, you can do that. My colleague can share across the link very quickly and you can join me on this. So Nifty actually कहीं जा नहीं रहा है फिलहाल, तो रेंज में है, रेंज को ब्रेकआउट देता है, फिर नीचे आता है, फिर स्टॉप लॉस ट्रिगर होता है फॉर मेनी ऑफ यू, and then start again going on the upside. So that's how Nifty has been over the period of time, and I'm sure you might be witnessing similar scenario. But if you only use cycles, it works so fabulously well. If you have been using cycles, it was fantastic. So ensure that you are using cycles for all your studies and analysis, because it has been working extremely well. So let's just move ahead now, and I'm going to end this poll, Nifty trend. I'm going to end this poll now, and I can clearly see, I'm going to share the results. 83% of the people are bullish on Nifty. When did we see that huge up on Nifty in the past? 83%. जो भी मेरे वेबिनार को फॉलो करा इतने टाइम से, when was the last time you saw Nifty being up? I mean, the poll being up by 83%. That's never happened. In fact, I don't recollect in near future or in months that bullishness was there. Are you able to hear me now properly? Am I being audible? Are you with me? Let me connect my microphone if in case there is some kind of an issue. So Nilesh has been following me for many years, and he is saying for the very first time, this has happened that the poll suggests Nifty with 83% bullishness. So time to be cautious, is it? I'm not sure. I'm just going to end the sharing the result right now, and I'm just going to stop sharing. So very interestingly, we got very interesting scenario here. Abhi, let's try and understand what is Nifty path ahead. वो तो agenda रहता ही है हमारे Friday at 4 webinar का. साथ में correlation of Nifty with crypto, और crypto crash क्यों हुआ? In fact, my article got published today itself on money control. If you would have checked that, I'm also going to share that across on my website, so that you can understand clearly how to look at the Nifty trend and how to understand and analyze you looking at the cryptocurrency. So let me just share across my screen. Just give me a second. Okay, fantastic. So are you able to see my screen here? Okay. So wavestrategy.com, if you go to wavestrategy.com, you will be able to see about Master of Cycles, which is there. If you click here, you will get all the information about what is this Master of Cycles program. That's one. And this will cover anything and everything you want to know with respect to timing the market. Mentorship starts in July. The existing batch is going on. It's fantastic. And the mentorship starts in July. So you can simply click on the banner. The reason I came on this specific website right now is I wanted to share across something very interesting. Look at this chart. I'm going to explain it to you, this chart. I'm going to explain some few other charts also along with this. So stay focused, stay with me. काफी सारी चीजें discuss करेंगे. This chart is available on wavestrategy.com. It is also published on Money Control. If you look at this specific chart, it's a very interesting chart. यहाँ पर मैंने ज्यादा रिसर्च लिखा नहीं है नीचे, but I will just explain it to you. If you can see my screen very clearly. On this chart, if you check, there is a cycle which I have put in. It is a 58 period cycle. This is a 58 period cycle, and this is a chart of Bitcoin. Okay, this cycle is in very close approximation to that of a cycle or that JM has suggested, which is a 56-day cycle. Now look at it. Interestingly, every low, जो भी low बना है इस cycle पे, had been exactly on that cycle day. Look at that, it's amazing. और ये जो low बना था, it got broken at this point of time. This low was broken at this point of time. As soon as this low was broken, there was a sharp sell-off. Now, chart पे दिख नहीं रहा है sharp sell-off because we broke that level near around 50,000, and from there it went down to as much as 35,000, around that. Because this is a logarithmic chart, this is a log chart, which is a return chart. That's why fall बहुत छोटा दिख रहा है, लेकिन it's a very substantial fall which happened from this point till this point. It's nearly around, I suppose this is nearly 45% of the fall. 30% of the fall happened, 35% happened on 2 days back. But even before that, it was on the downside. So, and this site is wavestrategy.com. This is for many of you who don't know me, this is what I founded way back in 2000 and 11, I suppose, post Lehman Brothers. So I was with Lehman Brothers way back in 2008. I was a part of that. In fact, today on CNBC itself, I talked about I was in Lehman and how metal crashed in 2008. So यहाँ पर wavestrategy.com, do visit. You will get so much of research here. Okay, and this is a 45% fall. Now look at multiple things that I'm going to show you. This bottom green shaded area is the cycle again, and the indicator that you see here is known as a rate of change. Rate of change indicator का value कैसे derive किया मैंने? 58 divided by 4 is how I derived the rate of change indicator value. Now why that all things we are going to talk in Master of Cycles program, but for now just try and understand. ROC also helps us to understand the bottoming, so it gives us the overbought zone and the oversold zone. So it helps us. So this is plotted basis of the cycle analysis that we are doing, and you can clearly see on most of the occasions where the arrow is marked, the ROC returned from the bottoming level to the uptrend. So ROC helped us in order to capture those reversals. So if you put also a moving average on an ROC, वो मैंने अभी नहीं किया. If you put moving average on an ROC, it might look something like this. So every time you see ROC moving above the moving average, it's a buy signal. So in fact, I'm creating an indicator using cycles. That's super. Okay, I'm creating an indicator using cycle. That's one way of looking at an indicator. Another चीज अगर आपको देखना होगा तो there is something known as a FLD, future line of demarcation. Whenever prices crosses FLD, it gives a very classic buy or sell signal to the proportion of half the length. तो यहाँ पर इसने ये क्रॉस किया FLD को and we got a sell exactly on the downside to that extent. It works fabulous. Okay, you will be amazed. यहाँ पर क्रॉस किया था and you got an amazing push on the upside halfway में. So there are multiple things that you can do by when you look at something like this, which is like an amazing way of looking at cycles. So I'm not spending much time here because हमें देखना है कि निफ्टी को इम्पैक्ट होता है क्या बिटकॉइन के क्रैश से या क्रिप्टो करेंसी के क्रैश से. बट डू रीड दिस आर्टिकल either on money control or on wavestrategy.com. There is another very classic research which is published. If you go on again on the home page and if you scroll down, you will see another research which we published over here is momentum stock and how it completely behaved the way it is expected to do. So this is basis of wave theory. That was on the basis of cycle, and this is on the basis of wave theory. And look at that. This chart clearly again suggested the overall movement in the terms of fifth wave should come on the upside with the target of 1860, and exactly around that Dalmia Bharat touched the target on the upside today when we published this. So it simply shows how simply you can use channels, maybe with NeoWave or maybe with cycles, and it works so fabulously well. Are you with me? So this was given in the momentum research to our clients. I'm just sharing across various charts today. और अभी चलते हैं कि दूसरा चार्ट जो मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ, which is on comparison of Nifty with comparison of Nifty along with what Bitcoin. Okay, this is the chart. Now if you look at this chart, you will not be able to make any sense out of it. Okay, we have also, so you're not able to make any sense out of it. Can you tell me why? Right now the chart in front of you, which is Nifty, so Nifty is the candle ones, Nifty is the candle chart, and this is the Bitcoin chart, but you are not able to relate the relationship on this thing. One more thing we also gave, so given the momentum, so we gave Nifty call today, we gave momentum call again today, one more stock. So you know, if in case you want to enter, it's just around that level and it works fabulous. It should work fabulously basis of this wave theory itself. So you can go to this stock and get all those levels. It's near to the entry only as of now. So if I'll go on this chart now you will be able to make a lot of sense. क्योंकि मैंने scaling को logarithmic कर दिया. So I changed my scale from arithmetic to a log scale. Because Bitcoin moved so sharply up and down, log scale is what can help us to understand the movement. So what you are seeing here, this is Bitcoin and this is Nifty. Okay, Bitcoin in US dollar, of course. So if you have to look at the correlation between these two, I'm not doing an Excel based correlation, I'm doing a visual based correlation between these two. You can clearly see that the period which is started from 2020 March had been a very high correlation, whether you look at copper, whether you look at Bitcoin, whether you look at Nifty, whether you look at Dow Jones, whether you look at crude, not crude, ideally, it crashed, turned negative, and then rallied. Yes. Look at gold. So everything, especially every commodity, every asset has continued to go on the upside. So by looking at that, does it mean that Bitcoin and Nifty has a positive correlation? No, not really, because this is the period because of loose liquidity, everything rallied. लेकिन यहाँ पर आप देखिए, very interesting. There was a huge correction that we saw that happened in Bitcoin and huge up move. Okay, on Nifty. Then Nifty starts correcting, Bitcoin went up. And again, inverse correlation. And यहाँ पर भी, if you try and see, the Bitcoin was going down and Nifty was going up. So there was inverse correlation. Look at that. This is also an inverse correlation. यहाँ पर Nifty crashed sharply, लेकिन Bitcoin ने ये वाला लो भी नहीं निकाला. Are you with me? So what I'm trying to make is, many people who are trying to link that crash in Bitcoin is going to result into crash in equity market is not completely true. It does send a warning signal कि liquidity शायद dry out हो रहा है. Now you might say नहीं, वैसा नहीं है, because it is because of the China that took the stand that we should be ideally financial institutions should not enter into trading and dealing with Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies to help you make money in the market. That's very, very important. But if you looked at the cycles, as I suggested, the cycles turned, okay, वो chart शायद दूसरी जगह पे, let me just open up again. The cycles turned bearish much before, much before the news was announced. So यहीं पे cycles were bearish and the news came out here at the bottom. Are you with me? So what I'm trying to suggest is, if you are trading on basis of news, you cannot make money. But if you are trading on the basis of cycles, you can make a lot of money. So the correlation between Bitcoin and Nifty, I don't think that exists. The only correlation that exists is short period of the time there is an inverse correlation, then थोड़े time के लिए positive correlation, then again there is an inverse correlation. Okay, that's how this functions. That's how it works. Are you with me? कुछ समझ में आ रहा है जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, और everything is Latin and Greek. I'm talking in very simple language यार. And I hope this is helping you to analyze. So अगर आपको ऐसा कुछ करना है, suppose if you want to analyze two stocks, say Nifty and Bank Nifty, you can simply plot Nifty and Bank Nifty together and you can analyze. This can give you so much of information. So Nifty and Bank Nifty, if you plot and analyze, you will get a lot more information. That what is the overall trend of Nifty, what is outperforming, what is forming a low first. This is Nifty and Bank Nifty together. Okay. Now look at Nifty and Bank Nifty. You can make out a lot of positive correlation for sure. लेकिन एक और चीज इधर देखने वाली ये है कि जब टॉप बनता है तो निफ्टी में पहले बनता है कि बैंक निफ्टी में पहले बनता है. And on basis of that, this is known as a classical positive or negative divergence between two different indices. Okay, two different indices giving very, very classical indication. So that's how you can possibly try and relate these two assets and see if Nifty is touching highs, is Bank Nifty also doing that? If not, sign of concern. So that's how you have to analyze two different assets. You can even do that in up USD INR और निफ्टी के बीच में भी correlation देख सकते हो. So you know that's how you have to analyze various things. So अगर if you look at USD INR and okay, and then look at this. This is very, very interesting correlation that exists between currency and between Nifty. So I'm going to a daily chart now, and you can clearly see that over here. So USD INR continuing to move down around these levels. Just 1 second. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out if this chart of INR is correct, because I am seeing something different. There is a very high correlation. Let's compare with futures chart. Yes. And let's take a weekly data. Correct. So there is a very high inverse correlation between the currency and between equity market. That is what we can make out very, very clearly. See this. When equity is going up, when the currency going up, and then the equity is crashing, then the currency going down and the Nifty started rallying. See, the magnitude will be different. Magnitude will be different, and it's like a classic amazing way. तो अगर आपको एनालाइज करना है कि यार ओवरऑल करेंसी ट्रेंड अगर रिवर्स ऊपर में हो गया, that will give you a classic suggestion that this is a warning sign that Nifty might start correcting back on the downside. So this is how you can intercorrelate different assets together and take a very informed decision and very correct decision on what is happening. At times, you will not believe, at times it happens that currency tops out and start falling, which means INR start appreciating, and then later Nifty participates. So currency पे watch रख के you can clearly make out whether you want to enter into markets or not. That's a very classic way of looking at two different assets. Am I making sense to you? Are you with me? Or too much of gyan today? Because I don't see people participating as of now. Maybe people are listening to what I'm trying to talk. So these are very, very simple, powerful ways in which you can actually try and look at different things together. You can compare TCS with Infosys. You can compare SBI with HDFC Bank and see कि किधर पैसा बनाना है. So इस तरीके से you can select stocks. This is how you can possibly look at that. But let's now go purely on Nifty. So currency versus bank Nifty you can do, Nifty bank Nifty you can do a ratio analysis. There is so much to do that you can simply go and plot here, and you can do that. Chaliye abhi let's start looking at where is the party going on. Last Friday I discussed about very clearly दो चार्ट को impose कैसे करना है. बहुत simple है. You just have to go here, click on compare and add, and you can simply superimpose two charts. So that's how you can do it. So let's go on Nifty now. Let's just try and see कि हो क्या रहा है Nifty के ऊपर. So I'm not going to do an overlay. So यहाँ पे compare करके you can always do an add symbol and overlay on the main chart, and you can compare. Mid cap stock has been has continued to be the darling of the market, and that's why, in fact, in the mentorship batch this Saturday we talked about a stock which was, I'm sure Zarna, if attending this, and the other mentees who are a part of this will be able to point out, they went like classic that we talked about it. I think we talked about which ones, if you can share across. So we talked about Orient Bell, Prince Pipes. It was up by like 8% nearly. We talked about Shakti Pumps also, if I remember, it was up by like 20% yesterday, 2 days back. I don't really recollect which all, but it went so well. The stocks that we shortlisted basis of certain algos that we were deriving using in the mentorship batch. So chalte hain Nifty pe. Let's try and see. So one thing is very sure, people are super bullish now on Nifty, looking at the entire movement. एक indicator डालते हैं, RSI. I'm sure you are aware क्या होता है RSI. And साथ में let us put one channel. Let me just put a trend line here. Simple way में करेंगे. Let's just put a channel here and take a clone of that channel, and let's draw a parallel from the level. So if I draw, there are multiple ways in which you can do this channeling technique, but this is how I am doing it right now. Is it the only way? No. Currently, if you look at it, it's just not doing anything. So many people who are looking at this market, they turned super bullish on this breakout happening. Super breakout आया, ऊपर गया, and then Nifty started going down, down, down all the way. So stop loss trigger for many of the people who are buying the breakout. They got out here yesterday, and the market rallied now. Did it happen to you? Okay, by any chance? Any one of you? Did you experience that happening? I'll tell you the reason. Because the cycle, short-term cycle I'm talking about, was in sell in this period. The short-term cycle turned bullish here. Okay, and that's why you bought the breakout, lekin you bought the breakout, lekin you ended up losing here क्योंकि fall अच्छा खासा था ऊपर से. So that clearly suggests that if you know कि कहां पर lows बनने वाला, you know, this low, this low, this low, all of these lows are on the cycles, which means on the time. If you know this thing, you will be able to enter well. Okay, now let's understand, along with timing, along with cycles, I'm not getting into how to derive that cycle, that we will do in MOC. Along with that, let's understand what is the overall pattern that I'm looking at in the market right now. From the wave perspective, I'm counting this as wave A, B, C, D, E done here, F done here, and we are in G. In this wave G, we are completed A here, B here, and very interestingly, अभी का जो trend है वो C leg है, and it looks like somewhat of a wedge as of now. It looks like a wedge, but we have to see if the momentum starts reducing. Can you see that, or it's only me? So I'm not saying you short the market. The market is in buy, but it looks like a wedge to me as of now within that C wave. So we are in wave 1 of C, wave 2 of C, and this can be wave 3 of C, which is currently going up, but the momentum will reduce. Okay, that's one of the possibilities. The other possibility remains that this entire move is a diametric also. That is not ruled out. So Krishna, very well. I think you are a part of a Master of Waves program, which we did a week back, 2 weeks back. Okay, so that also is a possibility. So even if it's a diametric, very well observed, Krishna, it can be a diametric or an extracting triangle. So हर एक possibility का outcome same है. So जो लोग नियो वेव नहीं जानते या जिन्होंने नहीं अटेंड किया, they don't get confused. We are just talking little ABCD, nothing else over here. So just relax. Either of it, a triangle, maybe an extracting one, or a diametric, or a C of a wedge. Every similar outcome ही हम expect कर रहे हैं कि short term में ऊपर है. बाद में we should start seeing again some kind of a trap might happen, and this is how we might move. If that's 3, 4, 5, and we might complete a C. That's one of the possibility that I talked about, if it's a wedge. So we will see the momentum from here on. Do not catch a top now. Ride the trend, not by buying option, but by writing or by buying cash stocks जहां momentum है. So I am suggesting this is a momentum play market in cash stocks, because a lot of stocks continue to break out, give 20%. So nearly 20% up Shakti Pump. I tweeted a chart of Shakti Pump about yesterday, and it's amazing breakouts that we are getting across the stock. But please evaluate risk reward. I'm not recommending you any buy, any sell here. I'm just explaining you few concepts and charts basis of my understanding. So क्या क्या देखा अभी तक इतने शॉर्ट टाइम में? हमने देखा कोरिलेशन बिटवीन बिटकॉइन एंड साइकिल्स, जो आपको wavestrategy.com पे मिलेगा. You can just go there and see that. You can see why we turned bullish on Dalmia Bharat and how it helped capture that 10-12% for our momentum clients. basis of wave theory channels and cycles, as of course. And we looked at correlation between Nifty and USDINR. There is an inverse correlation. There is no correlation exists between Bitcoin or crypto and Nifty, to be honest. No correlation exists there. But yes, if Bitcoin continues to crash, this indicates liquidity is getting sucked now. So that's also an important part of it. And now we are looking at the wave theory on a Nifty chart. Okay. Nilesh is asking ABCD and last leg is E wave. I'm not sure, Nilesh, what you're expecting. So what is after G? After G is done, the top is done and the major crash will come. After G is done. So right now I'm not saying it's done, but if this is wedge, look now, listen to me very carefully. If this is a wedge or a terminal impulse or an ending diagonal pattern, wedge का मतलब ये जो आप pattern देख रहे हैं, इसको wedge बोलते हैं. If this is correct and prices behave the way I have drawn it, once it gets over, majority will get sucked into this trap here. Majority will get sucked into this trap here, and then the crash will happen so fast that you will not have time to think. If this turns out to be the wedge, the way I'm seeing it right now, even if it turns out to be a triangle, it's going to end up trapping. So point is, you are not buying the breakouts on Nifty. You are buying Nifty here. So this is where we give buy call on Nifty to the client. You're buying Nifty here, not on breakouts, because then you might get trapped. Okay. So even if you get trapped, get out with a small stop loss. You might lose money, but get out with a small risk. But if you get a good entry, then ride the trend. Maybe by writing option is what I think is the best way to capitalize. And don't get carried away. एक दिन का bullish candle देखा and you get carried away, breakout आ गया, because you know what happens after a very strong close. I'll tell you, this was a very strong close here. क्या हुआ? A very strong gap up, breakout. क्या हुआ? A very strong downtrend. What happened? So if you are looking at sharp rise and sharp fall, you can't really trade this market, because this is going to trap you. If you go on the daily chart and look at the sharp rise and the sharp fall, it will not work. So it's important that you understand. So again, I'm repeating. Okay, this is an hourly chart that we saw. I'm going to take a snapshot of this chart and I'm going to be, okay, I'm going to rub off this fall, because क्या होगा अगर मैंने ये social media पे post कर दिया ना, people will start shorting without understanding the context of the market. Okay, so understand the context of the market and then they will say, you Ashish Kyal said the market is crashing, इसलिए मैंने short कर दिया. No, understand the context यार. मतलब क्या view है मेरा, why I'm saying this. So I'm sharing this chart. I'm going to share it on my Twitter handle @KyalAshish also. Am I making sense to you? What we are doing in this webinar, is it useful? Breakout and shakeout page 1. Yes, absolutely. Rakesh is asking, do we see sharp decline in the mid cap stocks post the breakout and shakeout? Yes, we might start seeing that, and it's going to be very quick. Ride the mid cap stock unless the crash happens. Keep riding it. So when the crash happens, get out you soon. That's how you have to do it. Am I making sense? Okay. Can it happen on expiry day? Crash from the top? No. Cycles apply करो यार. Expiry day पे crash होगा ऐसा किसने बोला? ऐसा crash ऐसा कोई correlation नहीं है again. So that might happen, that might not happen. So that's how it is. एक daily chart देख लेते हैं. I've just saved this chart over here. Just one second. Let's go on the daily chart and let's see what is happening. So I'm not going to tell you what are the key levels and where you should buy, where you should sell. You can just visit wavestrategy.com and equity research report. We publish all those things over there with the exact levels you have to keep a watch on. So on the daily chart, yes, Nifty is forming the biggest of the candles during the reversal. That's very strange. Nahi kya? This is a big bear candle, reverse, big bear candle, reverse, big bull candle, reverse. And this was bearish, big candle here, yes, red and reverse. That's how it's happening. So if you're looking at a big bullish candle, don't be surprised if it reverses, because that's how it's trapping people either side. This again was a trap. This was an exhaustion gap, but again a trap. So But if you are timing it well, you are making the most of this trend. Only if you are timing each turn. This has been a paradise move for option sellers, provided you are timing the turn. And I've been very vocal across my mentorship batch, across my programs. Option writing is the way, and time it using some parameter or wave theory. Either use cycles or wave theory, you can make the most of these moves, which is in range as of now. Any questions, please? Is iBull housing a big breakout? Will it cross 260 this time? I don't know. I'm not talking stock specific. Maybe you can refer a research report for that. But breakout होके breakout आके 10% चढ़ चुका है. I'm not buying it now. If I have to buy it, I'll buy when before breaking out, because breakouts are not working. Before breaking out, it works well. So, okay. Can you give details about one-on-one tradership start and other details, Hemant? I think my colleague will speak with you, or we will speak post this webinar. You can just simply leave your contact details, and then we'll get in touch with you. Kenil is saying super information session was super fantastic. Thanks, Kenil. I am glad it's helping. अंजू is saying आपके समझने का समझाने का तरीका इतना अच्छा है कि सभी को सरलता से समझ आ जाता है. धन्यवाद अंजू. Bitcoin has 58-day cycle. How many days cycle Nifty have? Nifty has a 55-day cycle, and I've been using that for many. Nifty has a 55-day cycle. If you go down, it has an 18-day cycle also to an extent. If you go down further, it has a, I think we derived it in our class, we derived it. So it has even a 43 15-minute cycle also. So there are multiple cycles. So join the Master of Cycles program and you will do it yourself, even on a 5-minute. As I said, you can predict the market to the very minute. Yes, it's not basis of the news. आज ही के दिन सोचने वाली बात है. I'm giving you an example. Today there was an announcement that possibly a package is going to be released. Okay, possibly a package is going to be released. That announcement came by Niti Aayog. That announcement came exactly on the very minute the cycle was turning on the upside. Try to imagine that. It came that time. SBI result came, but stock closed up because the cycle was positive. So is it कि cycle के कारण stock move हो रहा है कि results के कारण stock move हो रहा है? सोचने वाली बात है. Go home and check. Sorry, go back and think. You are anyways at home because we are working from home anyways. Preeti is asking any correlation with solar eclipse on 10th of June? Okay, there is definitely correlations that exist. In fact, there is a very intense study which I'm planning to do, which is in alignment to when there are specific alignment in terms of eclipses and these things, how do markets react? Now you might call me stupid, but to be very honest, don't you think everything is governed by something which is beyond? For example, the lunar cycle is 28 days. And if women body is not in sync with lunar cycle of 28 days, we will not be existing in this planet, right? We will not born because the lunar cycle exists. The solar cycle is existing. There is something, a lot of things exist. So let me not get into that. Otherwise, the discussions can keep going on. I can talk about cycles all the way till the end. Okay. Always an excellent topic, sir. Every time. Thank you very much. So let me just take if there are no more few questions, let me just take a quick poll. This poll is about do you want to be a part of this journey that we have started on ensuring you learn and trade the market. If you want to be a part of it, then you can join the Master of Cycles program, which is happening on 12th and 13th of June 2021. The early bird ends on 30th of June. If you want to register, ensure you do that. I'm conducting after a year and I will not conduct it for maybe another year. So Master of Cycles, purely cycle, nothing else. Simple and very effective. निफ्टी का साइकिल जैसे मैंने बताया यार, इन माय रिसर्च रिपोर्ट आई कीप मेंशनिंग इट, सो यू कैन रिफर फाइनेंशियल वेव शॉर्ट टर्म अपडेट ऑन wavestrategy.com. So Irfan, why don't you do that, please? Is it correct to sell our stock holding fully now and buy again after the market crash? No, don't do that. Don't do that. It depends on कौन से stock है आपके portfolio में. If those stocks are good, don't hold on to it. So I don't know which stocks you holding, but don't do that. Don't just get out before confirmation. You know, our monthly research might help you with that if you want. How can we know whether to buy or sell on basis of ratio charts? Abhinay, that's again a very detailed analysis if you want to do that. So I'm going to do that in our mentorship program. So again, not the platform right now to explain that as of now. Okay, fantastic. So what are the key levels to watch? I'm not talking levels right now on Nifty, but yes, if you just want me to talk about it, kal ka low is the key level on Nifty. On the upside, this wave C can go towards the trend line which I've drawn on the upside. So that's how it has to be. Which one is better, master of cycles or wave theory, Bharat? That's like a fantastic question you have asked and you have put me on the spot, Bharat. कौन सा चीज better है, cycle करे कि wave theory करे? See, if you are in love with two females, what to do next? Which one to select? Okay, so I don't know. It's like I'm in love with cycles and wave theory because essentially दोनों अलग चीज नहीं है. I'll just give you a very classic link between them, right? Wave theory is cyclical. Cycle is the foundation of technical analysis. Cycle is the reason why we exist on this planet. So cycle is the reason why everything functions the way it does. And wave theory is just trying to depict it in a different way. So wave theory, I'm practicing Neo Wave for more than 10, 12, 15 years now, 10, 12 years, and cycles as well. So both are connected. I would highly recommend if you want get into the BMW program, which has we have the recording of Master of Waves and learn the cycles. That's the best part. Okay. Suresh is saying, if I love woman, no, I don't want to read that out, Suresh. Otherwise, people will start getting offended. I am not going to do that. Okay, great, guys. I'm sure you really enjoyed today's session. Just to end it on a very, very joyful note, to be honest, not on a very sad way. The markets are very impressive right now. The cycles are working to the minute accurately, simply fantastic. And also, so I can see a lot of people are commenting a lot of nasty stuff right now with respect to the two wives, two girlfriends. Okay, I'm not going to read those comments. So I'm just going to end the poll now. And it was fantastic to have you people here. I'm sure you are enjoying every bit of it. जो हम webinar करें, and people on YouTube, if you want to really, so let me just stop sharing the screen right now. So people who are there on the YouTube, if you want to be keep getting alerts, so ensure you subscribe to that YouTube link at the bottom. The description will contain about Master of Cycles program details and also about mentorship in July. So mentorship is what I recommend if you want to learn everything from me over the period of 3 months of time. Do that. That's going to be a lot of things that you can learn. Please take a webinar on cycle. Maybe someday, if time permits, I'll do that. So wish you all a very happy weekend. Stay safe, stay inside. And if you want to learn basics of cycles and things like that, I would recommend don't just go through any webinar or any stuff. Don't just break up your learning. Learn it in totality, because that is what is going to help you to get the most of it and be a part of this my Master of Cycles program on 12th, 13th June. You will be thrilled to the core. That's what I can say, because I'm amazed myself. Every other day I get amazed looking at how accurately it is. And today was again a classic example. And we did capitalize it, right? In terms of calls, in terms of trades, in terms of whatever we are doing. Okay, so it's going to be very, very interesting. Thanks a lot, guys. And yes, by the way, I'm at Cloud9 Resort. We are taking bookings here. I own the resort, by the way. And if you want to meet me, you can come down here. We can spend some time. Who knows? Over the weekend. or some other way. So you can simply contact us on 9920422202 for any details on the mentorship program, one-on-one tradership, or on Master of Cycles. And you can do that. My colleague can just share across the link. If you want to register, you can simply do that right now. And Suresh is saying, thank you very much, always enlightening. Thanks, Neha, for sharing it across. You can just go and register here for the Master of Cycles program right now if you want to. And have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay inside. This is Ashish Kyal signing off, and trade well. Looking at cycles and wave theory, having both of those on your side is going to work for you for sure. Okay, thanks.